Hello friends. Okay, now in this video we will see Newton's second law. Previously we have derived a relationship between momentum and force. In that video we studied that time rate of change in momentum is directly proportional to applied force. Friends, this one was very important relation, and once you learn it well, once you memorize it well, then you can actually look for the second law of motion. Again, I am telling you the verbal statement that time rate of change in momentum is directly proportional to applied force. This is the Newton's second law. Okay, but it is showing the relation between momentum in a time rate. Okay, from this we are going to derive this relation F equals to ma. F equals to ma, that is, force is actually the product of mass and acceleration, and this is going to be very vital. In fact, it can be a question of any examination. So friends, just bear that thing in your mind. Let's go for its solution. Okay, let us consider a straight path. This is the straight path, and here we have an object having mass m. Okay, so this is a straight path and an object having mass m. With initial velocity u, under the effect of force F, it actually covers some distance, and due to the effect of external force, it actually acquires its final velocity v. So we need to understand these notations, friends. So let us understand. Here the things are like this. Again, I will repeat for sake of your clearance. An object with mass m having initial velocity u, but under the effect of external force along a straight line, it actually covers some distance, and due to the effect of that force, it acquires its velocity v. So friends, along a straight path, it is actually performing accelerated motion. So this is what we are going to learn. So see it well. From this verbal discussion, we will be able to write some notations. Like, first, what will be its initial momentum? Initial momentum, we will call it pi. And just in previous video we studied that momentum is nothing but a product of mass and velocity. So mass and velocity. Here mass will be m, but in case of its initial velocity, we will take it u. Okay, and same way, under the effect of external force F, it covers some distance along a straight line and acquires final velocity v. So we will be calculating final velocity. We will name it Pf. It will be also represented as the product of mass and velocity. Now, initial momentum and final momentum. So we'll go for change in momentum. So now we will look for change of momentum. That will be called delta p. Here remember, the symbol delta shows you the change. Okay, the change, the earlier position and the later on stage position, that represent change, denoted by delta. So delta p means change of momentum. Change of momentum will be represented this way: Pf minus Pi. That is final momentum minus initial momentum, but Pf is mv and Pi is mu. So we'll take m common from this. and thus we'll be getting it like this, that change of momentum equals to m into bracket v minus u. But see friends, it is all happening under the effect of the external force, as well as it needs some time, because since it was having initial velocity u and then F creates that accelerated motion, due to that it acquires final velocity v. But that force was applied and the change of a velocity occurred, time t was taken for that. That is very important. So this is all happening and the time is also taken for that. So now we will be utilizing our Newton's second law statement, in which what we used to say, that according to Newton's second law, applied force is directly proportional to the rate of time of change in momentum. Again, external force is directly proportional to change of momentum in given time or in time interval. So here delta p value we are receiving like this. Here it is. Just need to replace it, friends, nothing else is required. So F proportional to delta p value is here. So you can write it from there, m into bracket v minus u upon t. Okay, so I'll just slide it, and here we will see it, F proportional to m into bracket v minus u upon t. But if you see this well, you will actually recall your knowledge of acceleration in first chapter. What do you call acceleration? Acceleration is nothing, again, a change in velocity in unit time. Change in velocity in unit time is called acceleration. Okay, so this A is going to replace this part. So it will ultimately become F varies m into A. Remember friend, this is a symbol of variation or proportional to. Okay, so finally what I am going to do it, I am going to remove this symbol and I'll be using capital A instead of this. So two things I am doing, I am removing this symbol of variation, or shows you the proportionality between the two sides, and in place of that I am using equality sign and K. This is what I am using. And there I need to actually, because after removing these two sides become equal and one constant is used. So this constant is actually called proportionality constant. Okay, and it actually poise both the sides and make them equal. So now F equals K into M into A. But now suppose its value is taken as 1, K's value is taken as 1. And if it is taken 1, then finally we will be able to get, in place of this I'll write 1. So it will become like this, and this will be nothing but mathematical representation of Newton's second law, as it can be actually represented through word form, like force can be represented as a product of mass and acceleration. So friends, I hope you will enjoy learning this, and it is very easy. It is very easy. Now we can actually derive its unit, and it is always very important whenever you define or go for the derivation of any formula or any other new quantity in physics, you at the same time derive its unit so that you can actually conclude it properly. So look to it. We know that mass can be measured in kilogram, which is considered to be its SI unit. Now acceleration, friends, we know what is the unit of acceleration? Meter upon second square. So it can be written this way: kilogram into meter into second raised to minus 2. And in the memory of scientist Sir Isaac Newton, this whole unit, okay, remembered or represented as capital N. In fact, in the memory of Sir Isaac Newton, capital N, okay, whenever we are using the name of scientist, we need to take the very first letter in capital form. So here capital N will represent this collectively this collection or the compilation of the units, and capital N will be the unit for force. So force is measured in Newton. Now friend, one more thing, we studied about Newton's first law. It was actually nothing but a definition of force, in which we studied about inertia also, resistance of an object against the change in state. Second law actually gives you the magnitude of value. Magnitude means how much extent the force is being applied. So friend, it is really very important. Do remember it. Watch this video again and again, and I hope this video will help you clear your doubts. And you can contact me for any further queries and doubt. Thank you very much, and wish you best of luck for remembering this. Thank you.